Hello, I'm Phil Mollen, energy psychotherapist, and this little talk is about the higher dimensions of energy psychology. Now, most people who begin to explore energy psychology modalities begin with either using one of the acupoint tapping methods, or perhaps they learn methods to do with making use of the chakra energy centers down the center of the body. And these are used at the interface of the mind and the subtle energy system. And they're very, very effective methods when used skillfully. And that's the crucial point, of course, when used skillfully. But what we also find, anyone who's used these methods for any length of time will become aware that they seem to open up more access to higher realms and different levels of consciousness and different phenomena of consciousness. Things like telepathy and other psi-type phenomena, non-local effects of consciousness affecting people at a distance, affecting events at a distance, telepathy, precognition, remote viewing, all these psi phenomena become much more accessible somehow. And we find that as we are working with a client using energy methods, it's like we become two communicating energy fields of information that are transmitting and receiving. And we get more of a sense that the mind, consciousness, is not confined to somehow within our skull, that consciousness extends far beyond the individual brain and is in contact with other consciousnesses and indeed a collective consciousness. And the question then is, how do we make sense of that? And secondly, perhaps more importantly, how can we make maximum use of that therapeutically for the benefit of human beings? How can we draw upon these higher dimensions? See, it's like when you begin learning energy psychology methods, it's like you're putting a step on the first rung of a ladder, kind of spiritual or higher dimensional awareness ladder, like Jacob's ladder. And you put one foot on the rung, and inevitably you take another step and another step, and you start moving up this ladder of spiritual awareness. It's got nothing to do with religion. It's about awareness of higher dimensions. And what sense can we make of this? How can we understand what this is all about? There are a number of frameworks within physics, not necessarily the most conventional physics, but frameworks developed by physicists that help us to understand what's going on. I'll mention briefly the work of William Tiller, the late William Tiller, who was a professor of materials science at Stanford University. And he conducted experiments with meditators, meditation and intention, and the way that an intention generated in a meditative state could be transmitted, could be implanted into a simple electronic device. And then that electronic device could be taken anywhere in the world in a laboratory setting and it would bring about the intended measurable scientific effects. Quite extraordinary research over quite a number of years. Now, he theorized around this that there is a higher level beyond our matter-based realm that is a realm of pure information, pure thought, if you like, a realm of magnetic information waves that is responsive to our intention, our request, our command. And here's the important thing. He noticed that the human subtle energy system, and by the way, he was the one who came up with the term subtle energy system, operates at this higher gauge, as he called it. It already operates at this higher realm. Now, as the field of energy psychology has developed, people have, in effect, without necessarily fully theorizing about how and why, the field has evolved a number of modalities that make maximum use of this phenomenon of accessing a higher realm and using intention. So there are some methods, for example, the ask and receive method developed by Tom and Pam Altaffer and Sandy Radomski, that makes use of carefully crafted words, sentences of intention that draw upon the higher dimensions, bring about the intended effect. It's like we are drawing upon the higher coherence power, the power of the higher dimensions to introduce new order and coherence and healthy states, healthy order in the lower fields. So what sense can we make? How can we understand these higher realms? Now, I particularly like the framework of Richard Amoroso and Elizabeth Rorschach with their holistic anthropic multiverse theory, the HAM theory. And this is an image that I had created that illustrates something of their framework. I've adapted it. It's not their image, it's my interpretation of their framework. So at the bottom here we have our familiar space-time matter realm. So we have the three dimensions of space plus the fourth dimension of time. So together it's called space-time, the four-dimensional space-time. With Einstein's work on relativity, it was recognized that space and time form one field because they both, the domain of space and the domain of time will both adjust to accommodate positions in relation to the speed of light, so as to maintain the observed speed of light constant. Space and time, those dimensions, will adjust. So it's one field, space-time, it's called. Then below that, or deeper than that, or higher than that, depending how you think of it, is the quantum realm. Now, the quantum realm is like a veil, because we cannot see fully into. We can't really see into it. We can't see beyond it. It's like a barrier to what we can observe. Because as soon as we try to observe or interact with the quantum level, we are changing it. It appears to exist as a realm of like infinite possibility. But as soon as it's a field of probabilities, but as soon as we interact with it, we try to measure anything, we are fixing something out of that realm of possibilities and probabilities. The wave function collapses into a particular outcome. And it's in response to the human observer and the human measuring equipment. And there have been lots of clever, ingenious experiments that have explored precisely that, the way that the human consciousness interacts and fixes what is observable in at the quantum level. Mind affects the quantum level. Consciousness affects the quantum level. It's a very deep perspective. A lot of physicists have been uneasy about engaging with the implications, the meanings of that. They prefer just to do the calculations, but the meanings of that are still extraordinary after all this time, after quantum mechanics was first developed. But then beyond the quantum realm, this information realm, the kind that Tiller was referring to. And Tiller always said, this is not the quantum field. This is something beyond that. And then as we move higher up the dimensions or down the dimensions, ultimately we come to the unified field, which is like the source, the ultimate noetic light, the mind of the cosmos. Amoroso and Rorschach postulate this 12-dimensional manifold that contains all the lower geometries, all the lower manifolds that are matter-based. Our space-time manifold is subtended, nested within these higher dimensional realms. It's like the opposite way round to conventional string theory that postulates other dimensions that are curled up in very tiny spaces within our matter realm. This is the opposite. Our matter realm, space-time, is subtended, nested within these higher fields. And then this can also be linked with the holographic principle, the universe as a hologram, which is quite a well-established theoretical position developed by Leonard Susskind and others, that our universe is actually constructed on a holographic principle. It's not quite like the ordinary hologram where an interference pattern between two lasers is embedded on a two-dimensional film, and then when you shine the coherent laser through it later, it reconstructs the 3D image. It's not quite like that, but it's the same idea. The principle is, and it came from mathematical considerations of the way in which the information of whatever is contained within a black hole in the cosmos is contained within its two-dimensional surface, like a spherical surface that contains all the information. And then it was postulated, well, maybe the whole of the universe is organized on that basis, that any region of space, no matter how tiny or how vast, the information of what's contained in that space is located on a kind of two-dimensional sphere, two-dimensional surface around that space. So like any space, if you think of it as like a balloon, a tiny balloon of space, vast cosmic balloon of space, the information that gives rise to what's within that space is on the surface of the balloon. So what's the equivalent of the laser shining through the film in a conventional hologram? Well, it's the light of the unified field. It's pulsing continually through the pixels of our holographic realm. So there are these pixels throughout space, throughout the universe, an infinite number of these tiny pixels through which the light of the unified field, the noetic light, pulses. And Amoroso and Rocha describe these pixels of our holographic universe as consisting of these triadic structures represented here on the image, these three little spherical things, and the brains and strings and wormholes. This complex, excited complex, exciplex, as they called it. These are the pixels. They're obviously incredibly tiny throughout and invisible to us, throughout the cosmos. And the light of the unified field, the noetic light, is shining through these pixels. And that is giving rise to the universe as we experience it. So what that means is that we all potentially have access, particularly if we can get into something of a meditative state, we can have access to these higher realms, and they respond to our intention or our request. We can request the higher coherence energy to have its effect on the lower fields. Disordered lower fields can be brought into healthy coherence by calling upon the higher dimensions. And this is just a nice image of the noetic light of the unified field. And this is another way of representing the cosmological least unit, the pixels of our universe. In the center, you can see it's with the two triangles, it's a geometric information that the unified field is pulsing through these exciplex pixels of our space-time. It's geometric information. It's pulsing from the noetic light field into our holographic realm. And then the outer border, you can see how it ultimately gives rise to matter and life, from physics to life. And it's a continual pulsing, the beat frequency of the unified field, the cosmic beating heart of the cosmos. So I hope that may give you some sense, particularly an intuitive sense of how we can access these higher dimensions in our energy psychology work. And that's my website if you want any further information. Always happy to hear from people who are interested in this kind of exploration. So thanks very much for watching, listening. Bye for now.